Welcome to DJ's Dancefloors and I Do's, the podcast that helps engaged couples like you plan an unforgettable wedding day, one beat at a time. Hello there, I'm your host Shane Griffin, professional wedding DJ and MC with over 20 years experience, and here I share real advice, smart planning tips, and behind-the-booth insights to help you feel confident, organized, and ready to celebrate your big day. Congratulations! Whether you're just starting out or deep into wedding planning, you're in the right place. So, let's dive in. This is episode 8, questions to ask your DJ after you book them. Now, a lot of couples get this huge sense of relief when they book their DJ. You sign the contract, you check that box, and it feels like you can finally move on to the next part of planning. And listen, that's awesome because finding your DJ, the right DJ, is a big decision. But here's what I want you to know. Booking your DJ is only the first step. The real magic happens in the planning and the conversations that come up after you book. That's where you turn a good reception into an unforgettable one. So today, we're going to talk about the questions you should be asking your DJ after you've booked them. These are the questions that will shape the flow of your day and night. Keep the energy right where you want it and make sure your wedding feels like you. Let's start with why communication after booking matters. Here's the deal. When you book your DJ, you're not just hiring somebody to play songs. You're hiring the person who's going to manage the energy of the night and, dare I say, be the voice and the face of the night. You're hiring someone who's going to help guide your guests through big moments. Your grand entrance, your first dance, your toasts, your cake cutting. And here's the thing. If you don't talk through the details after booking, stuff will slip through the cracks. Maybe it's a song you never want played. Maybe it's the timing of speeches. Maybe it's something as simple as how you want to be introduced into the reception. So the big point here, booking is only the beginning, not the end. We here at Shane Griffin Entertainment, once we sign a client, we actually send login credentials to access our online portal to fill out planning forms, fill out timelines, and then select the music in the music library. So it's important to do that type of planning after the booking has occurred. And then 2 weeks out, we schedule a planning call to review all of that information. So it's key to continue the conversation even after booking. If you like what you hear so far, give us a like, please, and be sure to subscribe. If you're a newly engaged couple, this podcast was built specifically for you. And today we're covering questions to ask your DJ after you book them. All right, let's get into the fun stuff, the music. This is what most people think about when they think DJ, and these are the questions that will help shape the soundtrack of your night. Here's the first question you should ask. How do you handle must-play and do-not-play lists? Now, every couple has songs that are absolutely essential, and of course, every couple has songs that make them cringe. And unless you share that with your DJ, we just simply don't know. A must-play list ensures your story is told through music during the night. A D&P list, a do-not-play list, protects you from hearing that one song or couple of songs that would absolutely ruin the mood for you and really affect the overall feel of the night. A second question to ask, how do you handle guest requests? Now, we talked about this in the previous episode. You know, some couples love the idea of guest requests, others hate it. Most are somewhere in the middle. Your professional DJ needs to know what side of that spectrum you fall on. Do you want us to take requests freely? Do you want us to filter those guest requests? Or do you want us to politely decline? A third question to ask is, how do you keep the dance floor flowing? Because here's the secret. It's not just about the songs. It's about the order and the tempo of those songs. It's about how one song transitions into the next, and a great DJ is building an energy arc throughout the night. Let me give you a real-world example. I had a couple once who gave me a D&P list, a do-not-play list, that included most of the newer contemporary songs that are hot on the radio. Now, this was a younger couple with a younger crowd, and I'll admit, at first I wasn't too sure about their decision. But we worked together, found some alternatives, and you know what? That wedding ended up being one of the most unique dance floors I've ever been a part of. Guests loved it because it wasn't the same old playlist they'd heard at every other wedding that they had been to. It was definitely a unique night, and it all started with good communication on the front end. Thanks so much for listening to DJ's Dance Floors and I Do's. Like and subscribe as we have built this podcast for you, the newly engaged couple. Congratulations! If you're in the process of making entertainment decisions, great! We'd love to help you. Today we're covering questions to ask your DJ after you book them. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about timeline. Your DJ is an obvious, huge part of how your night will flow. Here are some questions you might want to ask. How do you coordinate with other vendors? Because your professional DJ is not working in a vacuum, we've got to sync with your planner, your photographer, your caterer. If the caterer is running behind, if the photographer needs 5 more minutes, your DJ should be the one adjusting things seamlessly so your guests never feel the stress, nor do you. Another question to ask is, what happens if things run behind? And spoiler alert, they will. Dinner is going to run late. Speeches will go long. Weather, especially here in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, might mess things up. You need to know how your DJ will adapt to these things during the night. Another question to ask, when should we schedule big moments? This one's big. The timing of your toasts, your cake cutting, your parent dances, all of that, it impacts the flow of the night. A professional DJ will help you place those moments so they feel natural and don't kill the energy of the night. Quick story, I had a wedding once where the plan was to cut the cake at 8:30 sharp. Well, dinner ran longer than expected, and the photographer came to me worried about losing light for photos. So we shifted things up about 15 minutes or so, made a smooth announcement, and honestly, nobody knew different. That's the benefit of asking your DJ how they handle these moments in advance. Now let's talk style. You know, not all DJs are the same, of course, and once you've booked one, you need to know how they're going to fit your vibe. This night is about you. A question you might ask is, how do you introduce people? Some DJs are super formal, some are more fun and interactive, some are very laid back. Which one matches your vision? Another question you might want to ask is, what happens if the crowd isn't dancing? This is where experience comes into play. Does your DJ change genres? Do they interact with the crowd? Do they use lighting or effects to kind of shake it up and shift the mood some? Another question you may ask is, how do you personalize the night for us? Maybe it's custom mixes. Maybe it's special transitions. Maybe it's even weaving little pieces of your story into the music. The point is, your DJ should have a way of making the night feel like yours. All right, story time here. I worked with one couple who hated the spotlight. They did not want a grand entrance. They wanted really no attention at all drawn to them. Nothing at all. So we kept it elegant, smooth, and subtle. And guests loved that because it matched the couple. And of course, the couple liked it too because they were very uncomfortable in the spotlight. Then, at a different wedding, I had a couple that wanted to do a conga line at one point in the night. A totally different approach. They welcomed the spotlight and were having fun with it. But you know what? Both worked perfectly because we talked about their expectations and style up front. If you like what you hear so far, give us a like, please, and be sure to subscribe. If you're a newly engaged couple, this podcast was made for you. Today, we're covering questions to ask your DJ after you book them. Let's talk about ceremony and reception. Here's something couples sometimes forget. Your DJ isn't just for the reception. In many cases, we're also handling sound for your ceremony and cocktail hour. So here's what you should be asking. How do you handle ceremony audio? That means microphones, speakers, and timing for songs like the processional and recessional, lapel mic for the efficient. Those are questions that you should be asking. Also, do you provide a separate setup for cocktail hour? because you don't want dead air while you're off taking pictures. Another question may be, how do you transition from ceremony to cocktail to reception? Smooth transitions keep guests engaged and the day flowing beautifully. You know, the days of setting up one DJ booth are long over. Brides and grooms nowadays expect a DJ to be in a couple of different places at a time and covering those areas with music. So it's critical to ask those kinds of questions about equipment and how those transitions are going to work. And again, the more you ask these questions after booking, the smoother the day is going to go. So let's button this up with some closing takeaways. Here's your checklist. Number 1, talk about your must play and do not play lists. Number 2, discuss how your DJ handles guest requests. 3rd, ask about coordination with other vendors. Number 4, confirm how they handle changes in the schedule. 5th, make sure their style fits your vibe. This night is all about you. And last, don't forget to ask about ceremony and cocktail hour. Booking your DJ is just the start. Remember that. It's not the end, only the start. These questions are how you are going to make your wedding unforgettable. Thank you for listening to DJs, Dance Floors, and I Do's. If today's episode helped you feel more confident about your wedding entertainment plans, I'd love for you to follow this podcast, leave us a review, or share it with someone that is newly engaged. Our goal here is to provide you with free, unbiased content to help you make better entertainment decisions. DJs, Dance Floors, and I Do's is a presentation of Shane Griffin Entertainment, produced by Rob Duran. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Shane Griffin Entertainment, and also check our website, letshaneentertain.com. There you will find all of our transparent pricing. You'll see all of our entertainers, as well as the many extras that we also offer. In addition, if you'd like a free copy of our new ebook, The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs, send me an email, shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. That's shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com to request your free copy of our new ebook, The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs. Thanks again for tuning in to DJs, Dance Floors, and I Do's. Tune in next week as we'll cover how to make your wedding reception flow smoothly. Until then, cheers!